Maximus Vohland here in Birmingham, Alabama. So, how do you rate your season so far? You're coming off a pretty significant injury.
Yeah, not bad. I would rate it probably out of 10. It'd be about 6.5, 7.
Okay.
Like pretty decent. Honestly, better than I ever thought I would be, to be honest. Like from where I was at to now is unbelievable. But then once you get in a spot to where you're pretty good, then you want to get back to where you were.
Yeah.
So when I gauge off of where I was last year, I feel like I'm getting there, but not quite there yet.
Okay, that was one of the questions I was going to ask you. Is like, where are you recovery wise from what you maybe say from December? How far along are you? Because you heard you dislocated the hip. A lot of nerve damage. Took a lot longer to heal than you thought. A lot of reoccurring issues. So where are you compared to December? And then, how much better is it going to get?
Yeah, a lot better than December, and even when I started riding in the beginning of the off season, a lot of it was just getting muscle strength back and just whatever muscles could grow back stronger. Because with a lot of the nerves, a lot of the muscles are just dissipated and will never come back. So definitely a lot stronger now when it comes to riding. I don't have to think about my foot placement or anything. At first, I had to really be precise with my foot placement because if I got too far back on my toes, it would flex too much, and then I would pretty much like strain the ankle and stuff like that. So honestly, a lot better now. I can actually just ride without thinking about it, which is great. And I don't know how much I'll get back in my foot when it comes to feeling or mobility. And right now, it's kind of just been pretty stagnant with that. The main thing has just been getting more strength in the ankle and in the calf and in my leg and stuff.
So is there no feeling, or is it just minimal, no strength?
Very minimal feeling.
Yeah.
I feel on certain spots on the bottom of my foot and like on the sides, but the top of my foot's pretty much zero. My toes are zero. You can touch, I can't feel nothing there. So, it's kind of just got some spots to it, and then even some spots going down the leg is a little bit numb too still.
Talk about coming up with a hand rear brake, learning to basically completely relearning how to ride, mentally, physically, all those things. I mean, was there a point where you're like, I don't know if I can even do this?
Oh yeah, plenty of points. And where it was like that, it was like even before I started riding and I was trying to do the handbrake, I'm like, why am I even doing it? Like, is it even possible? And then it's just one of those things where it's like I just kept plugging away, kept chugging away at it, and stuff started coming together, and then stuff would fall apart again, and then we'd have to go back to the drawing board and retry. And finally now I feel like we're in a position where the system I've got now is pretty good. It's strong, the brake works good like how I want it. I'm getting better to use the brake and clutch on the same side at the same time. So honestly, I feel like the system I got now is pretty universal too. Like even if I were to have to go to a different team, I could use it pretty much I think on any bike.
Is there any spot on the track where it's kind of like, this is a little bit of a weak point, or maybe even a spot where it's better?
Yeah, it's got its positives and negatives. I feel like, of course, right-handed flat corners, I've definitely got an advantage. I can stand a lot more in my corners and be on the brake more, so when the tracks get ruddier and more technical, kind of like how Indy, it was a little bit of advantage for that too. The main weakness that I've had so far has been just my raw intensity. It's been hard to ride intense because the systems that we've been using, the brake hasn't been as strong as I wanted it to, so I'd have to come into my corners rolled off the throttle a lot more and kind of roll my corners with roll speed and not be able to charge into them and ride with a lot of intensity. So with all of off-season kind of riding that way, I didn't ride with a lot of intensity. I just rode with ability and kind of 80%, but just being smooth and fast. So that's one thing I've been trying to work on, is just getting that intensity back, because I feel like I haven't got to that level of intensity. And even when I do get to that level, I'm not as comfortable as I used to be there. So mistakes come out and end up riding worse.
You mentioned the word ability, and when I think of you and your career, I think of ability, like your skill set, BMX style, very McGrathy, right? Very talented on a bike. Unfortunately, your results don't show what your ability is because of injuries. And I mean, we're 5 years in, 3 teams, and I know the career hasn't gone exactly how you want to. So I feel like that has to make you a stronger mental person and a racer. Like, your ability is your ability. You're not going to lose that.
Yeah.
So in the long run, I feel like you're going to be a better racer. Has that been a struggle though, of trying to I know I can do it, but I'm just not having the opportunity really?
Yeah, and I've definitely grown up a lot more through the injury. It's definitely matured me and given me a different perspective on life and racing and everything in general. And just where I'm at now is I honestly didn't think I'd get to this point until a year from now, maybe. So I'm already way ahead of where I ever thought I would be, considering where I was at. So I'll take that. I'll take that. But then also there's a side that's like, yeah, I want to do good. I want to be a competitive guy. I want to be on the box. I want to be going for race wins. Of course, we all do, but I feel like I have a lot behind my story and a lot of fuel to use off of. So I'm just honestly, with my career, other people learn different, and I've had to go through certain things that other people haven't, and I'll take it what it is. I'll get there eventually, I feel like, and I just got to keep plugging away and keep building on the building blocks. Eventually I'll get there.
Was there a moment, I sort of alluded to this a minute ago, but was there a moment where you sat down, talked to your dad, like, I'm maybe done? Like, did you ever consider stepping away?
Yeah, definitely. Before we even started riding, I was a lot of days like that. And it was I would say 85% I'm not racing, I'm done.
Wow.
Compared to, and then I remember literally the last day before I had to go back to club, it was like 5% of hope, dude. I'm like 95% done, 5% hope something works out. And we found something on the last day where I was just able to kind of ride, and I was like, oh, this could be something. Well, let's take a shot. So we went back to club and started training on it, and we didn't even tell them at the time. So I showed up with this whole handbrake thing, and they're like, it was crazy. So yeah, but they've been good, and they worked with me, and they've been building with their investment. So I've been trying to give them back with what they earned.
Yeah, it's impressive. And it's on my show, and this may come off negative, but let me finish. Like, we did recently, like, who you most impressed by this year and who you most disappointed with. And I was like, man, I'm disappointed with Max, but not because of a lack of talent, but because of what I expect, knowing what you can do. So if I were to put myself in your shoes, it would be even a heavier burden almost. And I think it's really a testament to you that you're coming out with this issue, we'll say a disability, it's not, and overcoming it and competing at the highest level still. So it's really impressive. And I think if you look at those positives and build from those, which you are doing, that you will get back to where you're expected to be.
Yeah, honestly, that's been the main thing, and just trusting it, and just whatever I can do to be better, and just working on the weak points I can. And with this injury, it's just going to take time, and I just have to accept that. It's not just going to happen overnight. It's this whole thing is still a building process, and I've come way farther than I ever thought I would in a short amount of time. So I got to be pretty happy. I've been healthy, staying on the bike, and haven't been out of my reach and out of my control. Yeah,
that's a big thing too. Staying healthy and getting through a season. And this, man, it takes a lot of years to figure this sport out.
It takes a lot of experience sometimes, and some people more than others, So I feel like I've got a good amount of experience now, and I've learned a lot over the last few years, and just being a professional for 4 or 5 years now is definitely, I'm 22 now, so I'm just getting into my, I'm still young, but I'm starting to get into that, growing up part of my life, where it's like, just taking stuff more seriously and into my control, and just controlling my life more and everything like that.
All right, last one. What are your goals for the remaining rounds of 250 Supercross and leading into outdoors?
Yeah, goal is to get on the box. I still think I've got the speed. I've seen in my lap times in the races I'm good enough to be on the podium. And we have a triple crown, and my biggest weakness have been starts recently because of all the system changes I've been doing with the bike, going to a hydraulic clutch and whatnot. So now I've really, over the break weeks, worked a lot of starts. I've made improvements on the starts, so I'm looking to see an improvement at the race. So got 3 starts to prove that I can be up there, and with the triple crown, consistency is king, and I've been a pretty consistent guy my whole career, so should be good.